Hey, good morning. I'm Greg Montgomery, and I work for Firman Power Equipment.
I'm Megan Sturridge. I also work for Firman Power Equipment.
Work for Firman. Hey, so I want to take a couple minutes. I think today we're going to go over the TriFuel, which is great because we have one here, which is one of my favorite little Jennies. I want to take a minute, though, and talk about a pretty big storm. Now, winter storms are always kind of tough to kind of figure out exactly what's going to happen, what's going to drop where as far as snow, ice, winds. But they're getting kind of locked into this one. It looks like it's going to start to hit kind of Saturday afternoon, rolling into kind of the Atlanta markets, and then kind of heading northeast after that, going up the coast, hitting the mid-Atlantic. And it looks like a lot of cold weather, a lot of rain, a lot of freezing rain, a lot of snow, a lot of crazy winds. If you get a chance, go to Mike's weather page. He actually had a live this morning. It's pre-recorded. You can grab it on YouTube or on his site. And he kind of walks through it really well what the next probably 5-6 days are going to bring. And for folks in that area, I would definitely get prepared. You don't know. A winter storm could blow through and not drop all the snow and ice and not be as bad. But this is boiling it up to be a pretty decent storm, it looks like. So if you call the stores in the area, they are completely sold out of product, of generators. We've got lots of product. If you need something, tell them to call Firman. We'll get product headed their direction immediately. Our crews are set up in case we have a DC in Greensboro, and we're all set up to make sure that our lots are plowed, our docks are cleared, our personnel is safe, and they're ready to load trucks and get them out to the stores and the people that need it. So if you're calling stores in your area and they don't have product, tell them to reach out to Firman, because we've got lots of generators. We're there to serve. Our teams, Chris is in here with us this morning. He's part of our tech support team and our IT team and everything else. But Chris is helping us out. But he'll be on the phones with the rest of our guys answering calls. So if you're out there and you need help, call us 844-347-6261. That's 844-FIRMAN1. But it does look like it's going to wrap up to be a pretty decent storm. So over the next few days, get water, get a generator. Get some food if you need food. Get some of those things in case if you get ice. A lot of these areas aren't prepared, especially in kind of that mid-Atlantic southeast, with equipment for snow plows or melt or salt. Mm-hmm. So a storm hits, and they don't really know how to respond, and they can't respond. So you can potentially be in a house for a couple of days if the thing hits hard. Yeah. So you need to make sure you have the supplies on hand that you need for you and your family. So get out there if you can. Next 24 hours, because this thing's supposed to settle in by Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and then just kind of keep heading northeast. Listen to your weather guys. They know much better than us. We know portable generators. We don't know weather, but we've seen a huge demand in the last 2-3 days, and we know a lot of the stores in the area don't have product. We're sure they have more coming in. Yeah. If they don't, tell them to call us because we've got product, and we'll get it to them. Our Greensboro facility is, an hour and a half, 2 hours from a big swath of this area that's going to be affected. So we're in a great place to be able to strategically get out there and help those stores and help these consumers. And Costco's a big customer of ours. Make sure we're helping their members. So if you need product, reach out. And if you get the product and you need any support, any help at all, call us, because we're going to be here to support you guys as you go through this potential winter storm.
Yeah. So. And we do know that with the storms coming, that our calls surge up to about 1,500 calls a day, and we have a team who does everything they can, and we actually all jump on board to try and assist as well. Yep. So don't be discouraged if you can't get through on the phone. You can email at info@firmanpowerequipment.com. Our technical support team will get back to you right away there, or even email us on social. We will get you in touch with someone, literally walk to a desk and get someone to give you a call. So don't feel, if you can't get through on the phones, that there aren't other ways for us to help you. We're here to get you prepared.
And the surge is amazing. When we have storms like this, we'll go from 2,000 calls a week, and we have about 20 people plus. We've got some in Greensboro as well. So we might have 20 people, 25 people that can jump on the phones, speaking multiple languages, Spanish, French, English, of course, all three. But we've got people that handle the calls. But normal week we might get 2,000 calls. We might get 2,000 calls, 3,000 calls in a day. Yeah. So the lines get flooded. We do have, like you mentioned, we all have apps. So on these times, we'll get another 10, 15 people that we plug in. We turn the apps on our phone. So we're all out there to help. Some of us not as good with some of your super technical questions, but we can get you through the easy stuff. And if there's stuff that gets more complicated, you know,
get you to the right person.
we'll get the questions you need. We'll get someone that can get you the right answer, and we'll get your questions answered. We'll make sure we get your product up and running. So it's our promise to make sure we're there to take care of you.
100%. So that kind of gets us to segue into like one of our first questions about our TriFuel. We actually we have so many things we want to touch base on about this, but our first question was, let's see, this question came over from Guy Morin. Last few days, I have been having trouble starting my my Firman gen in cold weather. It eventually does start. Do you recommend a gas line antifreeze to be used? It seems to help to start if I hold the choke open. It wants to throttle itself a little bit while I'm electric starting it, which I think may be making things worse. So
Chris, you might be able to.
Hi there, I'm Chris with the technical support team, and we send a conventional 10W30 oil with the generator, which is great for most weather. But once it starts getting to 20 degrees or less, it's recommended to switch to 5W30.
Right.
A full synthetic 5W30 you can use year round. So after you use our 10W30 break-in oil, we're recommending you go to that 5W30 if it's extreme cold weather,
right?
And you won't have issues starting it up then.
Some people love synthetic, some don't. One thing I've always heard is if you transition to a synthetic oil, you should stay with synthetic oil after that.
Absolutely.
If you're with traditional oil, stay with traditional oil. The other thing too is if they're starting on, say, propane.
Yes.
We know in cold weather, all of our units are cold weather started. So our units will start up to about 40 below zero. We actually test them in cold rooms. So in gasolines with our ignition starts and everything, you should be fine. When you get cold weather, if you're trying to start it on propane or even natural gas, cold does affect the flow of those gases. So we know LPG tanks that rely on the pressure of the tank, and in the summer and the fall, no problem. In the winter, those are harder starts. So sometimes you're a little bit better off if you can initially start your unit on gas. We usually have multiple, if our unit's gas, propane, and LP, if it's struggling to start on LP, if you can start on gas, kind of get the unit warmed up, sometimes that helps pull the fuel through. But in cold, severe cold times, LPG is not as effective as just gasoline. So in those times, you might want to run on gas as well.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. We got a couple more questions. Jason Baird asks, is this generator safe for electronic devices such as computers, phones, TVs, etc.?
Yeah, so it absolutely is. Our TriFuels test out at about 14%. We actually have them tested by an independent test lab, about 14%. Our generators as a whole, and generators as a category, will run on a THD, total harmonic distortion, from 11, 12, 14% up to 25, 26%. It's kind of standard for the industry. And Chris, if I say something wrong, jump in. But your house runs at about 3 to 5%. It's very clean, what they call pure sine wave, clean THD. So if our inverters, which you can't see, but our inverters are all copper alternators. They all run at less than 3%. If you're involved in any kind of audio, video, specialty type stuff, if you're doing recordings, if you're trying to do high-end video stuff, then you do want something that's got a clean sine wave. If you're running some medical equipment, then you want stuff that's clean. But TVs, plasma TVs, flat screen TVs, stereo equipment, computers, all that, your appliances, all completely safe with our full line of product.
Awesome.
So that's not an issue at all. If you're a heavy end AV guy, which is very few people, then you want something all copper. Go to an inverter.
And he did ask if he could power the transfer switch to his house, and if it's approved for home use, this generator.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some great companies. We are working on some transfer switches and some interlock ideas that we'll probably be out with, I'd say, in the next year or so.
Awesome.
But there's some great companies that make really good transfer switches. We worked with Connecticut. We worked with Reliance. Reliance is phenomenal out there, and you can find those just about everywhere.
Yeah.
They've got some 10. I think they've probably got connections for up to 10 fuses, and
yeah, they got some pretty big ones.
and then they go bigger.
Yeah.
They go much bigger than that. But if you look online, you can get those for $300-400.
Yeah.
It's really important though, if you go that route, you want to get an electrician, someone local
Yes.
to come in that knows code,
Yeah.
set up the transfer switch, set up your gen. This gen actually would allow you to go in. It has a 12240. This is a 1430. It's actually an L1430. So this actually would work great to
Yeah.
plug into a lot of transfer switches.
Okay.
All of our units that are 7,000 watts and above have a 1430, but also a 1450. The transfer switch is typically because they want to run power up both sides of the box.
Yep.
You need to either have a 1430 or a 1450
Okay.
to power into those through the transfer switch and provide the proper power to your house, and then you just kind of plug and play with where you want to run power. But that's the best solution. That way you're not running cords from your generator into your house. You're not
Yep.
trying to move your generator closer to your house to get cords to
Yes.
plug stuff in. So if you can run your generator with a transfer switch into your fuse box, that's far and away the best route to go.
Yep.
Yeah.
And always rely and reach out to your electricians.
Always
just
get an
to make
electrician.
sure you're doing it
Yeah.
correctly. We want to be safe. That's our number one goal. Make sure
And
everybody's
the
safe.
reason for that is if it's wired incorrectly, it will backfeed into the power supply. So as they're trying to reconnect and get your power up and
Yes.
running, you could actually kill a powerman or wireman that's up there trying to
Yeah.
trying to fix your neighborhood
Yeah.
because you wired it incorrectly and it backfeeds. So it really is dangerous. It's super important that you get an electrician, someone that knows code, to set it up properly.
Okay. And then we did get a question from Anthony. We did get a question from Anthony Acierno. What is the BTU supply requirement to run the generator on natural gas?
BTUs.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's a Chris question for sure.
when you're setting up our generator to run it on natural gas with your house, we of course do recommend having a licensed plumber as well set that up just to make sure
Okay.
Yep.
you get the proper pressure and everything.
Absolutely.
But they will always ask that question, what's the BTU requirement? And it's a maximum of 101,000 BTUs.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's what the plumber will need to know when they're setting it up.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very cool. Thank you, sir.
Jim Owen, are there any other plans for a larger TriFuel unit?
Yeah, actually, so what we're actually going to showcase today is one of our smaller, so I'm kind of bummed, but we kind of came out first with our 7,500, 8,000 watt family, and it took off. So it's kind of neat to be talking about the TriFuel because for probably the last 10 years, other companies have tried to introduce it, and they've just struggled. You'd see it come into market and go away.
Yeah.
And so we really took our time. We took about 3 years really digging deep and diving into how we get it to work and run properly on all three fuels. And it was a big deal. There was a lot of failures before we ever had any success. When we did, we introduced first the larger unit for the very reason, the last question is a 7,500, 8,000 is probably more likely to be used as potentially a portable standby. So to get a transfer switch, plug it into your house, it gives you enough wattage to really run a lot of things on your home. If you have a house, 2,800, 3,000 square feet or smaller, 8,000 watts, 7,500 watts will run just about everything you need. And now with some of and I don't know the details on this, but what we have heard is with some soft starts, people can hook those up to their ACs, like a 3.5 to potentially 510 AC. And our 7,500, 8,000 watts have started and run AC systems in homes. So
Which is a super huge deal, especially here in
that's
Arizona.
amazing, especially if you're anywhere in the southeast during hurricane season.
For
Because
sure.
right now it's winter, people
Yes.
want to run their heaters,
Yes.
but in the summers in those areas where you got massive humidity and crazy stuff, it's really nice. You can find a way to keep your AC going. But so we started with the bigger size, which was kind of our middle of the road, our 8,000, 7,500 watts. We then came down and we created our kind of 4,000, 5,000 watt. This is a phenomenal unit, so we'll talk more in detail about this. And now we have gone larger. So we actually have now a 9,300, 11,000, 11,500, I think. And that'll be in the market probably within the next 2 or 3 months. So that's our next size up. That's with our 459cc engine. And then we're actually going to go up larger with our 670cc. Is that right, Twin V? 760.
I can't remember the CCs on that one.
I'm
so
torn. So that
think
will
it's
also
760.
be a TriFuel here within about probably 8 months. And so that will be 12,000 running watts,
Awesome.
up to 15,000 peak watts. So that will be our big bad boy. and that's available probably within the next year as well.
Yeah.
So that
And
will also
we'll
be a
make
TriFuel.
sure we're like letting people know when these are released. And
Absolutely.
do some feature posts on social so you can be the first
Yeah.
to know. So
Yeah, the TriFuel we absolutely love, and you're gonna see if you're a Costco member, they actually are introducing a new TriFuel right now. It's our T07573. It's with CO shutoff. This unit also has. But if you look on your screen, if you're watching us, the one off to the right, that gray unit, kind of steely gray, that's the new T07573 TriFuel
She's a
CO
beauty.
shutoff, and that's in Costco
yeah.
starting right now. I think it's in some
Yeah.
buildings right now. It's not in all buildings, but it's kind of getting
It's
out there.
making its way in there.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
There's
So
two-
we are going bigger.
That's great. Brings me to the next question about we had a lot of people asking where they can purchase TriFuels. So
Great question. So TriFuels and dual fuel become our top selling SKUs. TriFuels are available mainly, go online and find them. Costco carries them in almost every building, and it's been an absolutely phenomenal. It's been their number one selling SKU now for probably the past 2 years, and it just has been bulletproof. We get very little returns on the unit, very little questions. It just really operates and runs super well. Adding the CO shutoff going forward is going to make it a much safer unit. So that's phenomenal. You can find TriFuels at, online at a lot of places. I think Academy Sports has them. I think Home Depot online carries them. Lowe's, I think, online carries them. Home Depot in Canada carries them in building. If you're watching from Canada, Canada actually carries this unit.
Okay.
It's really starting to grow. I'm missing a ton. I'm picking out the big, retailers when you think about it. But you can find these units
absolutely.
all over.
And
if you look online and search Firman, you're gonna find it. Firman
and actually, if you
TriFuel.
go on to Firman's website and you
yeah.
press on the item, it'll actually show you in your area
Where
where
to find.
where to find it. So
That's right.
So yeah, we have a locator that can help you if you can't get through, or if you can't call us to get some help on where to buy that, or if you can't find it online yourself. So
That's actually a fairly new feature, and I just completely forgot about it. So
yeah,
thank
it's
you.
an awesome feature.
Yeah, that's
if you
nice.
haven't checked it out and you want to just know where to go look at, a lot of people like to go touch, feel, play, check it out.
Yep.
You can see them in person by going onto the website, choosing the TriFuel that you want to go find. It'll tell you what stores it's at, and then you can go right into the store and check them out. So
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So was that all of our questions? Do we have any more?
There was a question about gas connection. And and a quick connect fitting on the generator itself.
So, thing that we do on all of our generators, you can see that everything we put covers over anywhere where it has potential for moisture or dust to collect and cause interference with the unit or the unit's performance. But this is the nozzle for the LPG. Oh my gosh, that's really snug and done.
Added your Kellogg's today?
Oh.
You got it. There you go.
So it is a screw-on fitting
Perfect.
for the LP and the natural gas. It's quick connect on the other end, but I don't think I'll run it by our compliance and product safety guys. I think there's a specific reason we did not go quick connect here, and I think it's when you've got fuel entering a fuel system for ignition. You want to just make sure it's a sealed and contained.
Yeah, and we can confirm
But,
that with
I mean,
Brad.
Chris, do you know if there's a specific reason? I mean, we'll look with our
Yeah.
compliance guys and safety guys and product development team.
Make
But
sure we send that out.
if we could do a quick connect, we would.
Absolutely.
Because the other thing we do is we really try to, when we build our products, we really try to look at how the end user is going to interface with, right? How they're going to use it. What's that handshake with the end consumer?
Yeah.
How they're going to touch it, how they're going to start it and run it. How you're going to use the product in your lifestyle, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If you're recreational, if you're a warrior and you're out there partying and tailgating and camping, or if you're a warrior. I'm not going to if you're worry a lot.
You're a warrior.
And you want to get a generator to protect your family if and
Yes.
when a storm happens or some type of
Yeah.
event happens. So we kind of go through all those scenarios to make sure that we provide the product that when you get it, it's ready to start.
Absolutely.
You just need to bring and get fuel, and that it's good to go. But then your interaction with the product is pretty simple and easy.
Absolutely.
And kind of intuitive. So there's startup instructions on every unit. This unit actually comes with an extra set of startup instructions because of the TriFuel that we go on the side that comes along with it. But all of our units have startup instructions right at the top as you'd be putting the fuel or connecting the fuel in.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see this. They come with quick start manuals, which I think a lot of people just
And if you
toss that.
And if you do toss them, we have everything on our website. So you just, again, go to the item. We have everything there. Tech support can walk you through it if you're not one to want to use a manual or a quick start stop guide. So
If we could have put a quick connect on there, I think we probably would have. And we'll go through some of the other stuff about this, but I think there's still another question.
last question. Is there a true fuel valve on the TriFuel Gen that allows you to remove most of the remaining gas in the carburetor?
Okay, so there is, and we need to do a better, this is one place we could actually do a little bit better job. I'd heard the tech support team talk about this, and Chris just pointed out before. So when you're over on the gas side, so this operates as your fuel kind of selector, but also as your gas,
Your fuel shut off.
your fuel shut off as well. When you're on the gas side, you can come up to about 1 o'clock, and you'll actually feel a little resistance. You do feel a little resistance in there, and when you get to about 1 o'clock, it'll shut down. It'll run the fuel through the carburetor, and shut itself down after it burns all the fuel out of the carburetor. So you keep the carburetor clean, which is a great way.
Yeah.
You still don't want to store a unit with gas in it.
Mm-hmm.
Gas, like any water or liquid, will kind of find a way to get into your system, get into your carburetor, and clog that sucker up.
Yep.
But if you know you're going to shut it down for a period of time, it's always better to try to burn all the fuel out of the carburetor first before you you put it away even for a week or 2 weeks. So put it at 1 o'clock, and I think we'll talk to the guys. I think in some future models and a lot of the models on our multi-fuels, they've actually put a little mark there to indicate an indicator, let people know here's your fuel shut off point. So, but yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, we have it right now. At least on this model, it's not indicated very well, but it's there for you if you need it.
Yes. And we can go over some.
Nice. Okay.
Some
So those all those questions just came because we said we're going to talk about TriFuel.
Well, they also have been questions that have been asked in the past or have been asked multiple times. So we want to make sure. I mean, we're sure some of you have those questions again and haven't heard the answers. So I thought it was cool to make sure we brought it to light again.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, so you might have to pop in on some of this stuff, Chris, because if I miss stuff, so this is one of my favorite generators. Have we had any questions pop up before we jump in? This might be a good chance just to look if anything.
I can check real quick.
Has anyone yelled or? Can they hear us?
They can hear us. Yeah, they can hear us. Where's Jason today? I miss Jason. Oh, that's Jason asking. Where's Jason? I miss Jason. That's awesome.
Jason's a big fan of Jason.
He is a big fan of Jason.
Jason is actually Jason's kind of doing a cool little mission before we get started. We've been out at I'm probably not going to say this right, the Cocapa. Does that sound right? Cocapa Racetrack. It's a dirt track in Yuma, Arizona. They're having a massive racetrack the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and it ends this weekend.
Yeah.
They've had like 400 racers from all over. I think with the last show we did, we talked a little bit about racing, but Jason kind of really helped organize that. He helped set everything up down there and get us rolling. We've got our trailer down there and displays, and we did a bunch of stuff with John Schneider and some different race teams. So they're finishing that up this week. Jason's getting our trailer, and then he's actually going to meet another really cool group that we work with called, I think it's called Keep Your Daydream. Does that sound right?
It sounds
I might be saying that wrong, but it's a family, and they're out of Phoenix, I think they're out of Scottsdale, and they started this thing about 4 or 5 years ago. I think they started a little bit after us, maybe it was a little bit before us, so maybe they've been doing it for 6 or 7 years, and then we found them. But we hooked up with them early on when we were just kind of kickstarting Firman.
Yeah.
And they were local, and so we kind of started teaming up with them, and they're just a really neat group. You've kind of been able to watch their kids grow up. They had real jobs, and then they kind of said, we're going to go do this whole other thing. And they've taken off in RVs, and now they've traveled the world in RVs. And they kind of camp, and they go on adventures, and they record them, and they homeschool their kids while they're on the road. And it's really cool. And they give you great travel tips, and they tell you kind of what's cool
It's
in different
becoming a
areas.
really big thing. We actually sold our toy hauler to a family that was doing
Oh, did
that.
you really?
Yeah, we were so excited to.
That's neat.
We loved it. We took such good care of it, and so giving it to a family that would actually live in the trailer.
And
like,
use it.
We're so excited.
That's cool.
So
And
it
you
was
gave it to
interesting.
him, right? It was free.
No. Yeah.
We gifted
It's
it to
a
him.
very expensive hobby. So yeah, no.
It
But
is.
they were
is.
it was interesting to hear their story and how so many people have been doing that. Like
Yeah.
houses so I'm getting off topic. But yeah.
No, I started it.
Jason
But
Jason
we missed
asked,
Jason. I know.
We missed Jason. He asked if we sell hoses.
Sell hoses.
Yeah. And
We
I don't
do.
know if I was supposed to ask that question or
We do sell
Yeah.
hoses. Hoser. No, we actually have, and it's cool about that is
Yeah.
we have two natural gas hoses. We have a 10-foot and a 25-foot. 25-foot is naturally probably your best to use.
Yes.
Because it allows you to get further away from your source of gas, which is probably close to your home. The 10-foot is actually goes back to kind of that transfer switch question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of homes that have already been pre-plumbed with natural gas, especially if you go into the California market or up into the Northeast, and they actually have a pad, especially on new builds. They'll have a pad, which is a place where you could put a portable standby or a standby.
Yep.
Gas has been plumbed there, and that's not anywhere close to an entryway, a window, or anything like that to the home. So they've strategically placed these on the side of the house where it doesn't have any windows, any doors. So there you need a 10-foot hose is fine. Your source of gas is right
Absolutely.
there. There's a pad for the generator to actually sit on and run safely.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for the 10-foot hose. We also, no one had a 25-foot hose. People
Yes.
sold it, but our compliance and safety director actually went to the effort and time to work with CSA and get kind of a certification, a standard set, compliance set. I'm pretty sure we're the only guys. I think we're the only, and I'd have to go look, but I think we're the only manufacturer in the market where our regulators, and both our onboard regulators, our hose regulators, and our hoses are all CSA certified and regulated and kind of tested to meet their requirements. And then on the 25-foot hose, he actually went and helped them create the standard
That's
so
awesome.
that it could be sold out in market
And we can make
people
sure
could
we're
safely
safe
know
and
it's
certified.
tested.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And a lot of people ask that question if we have that larger hose because they're
Yeah.
trying to comply with the 20 feet away
20,
from your
yep.
home. So it's awesome that we kind of mentioned that. So
Yeah.
thank you, Jason. Still
Yeah.
here even though you're not here.
Right? So we'll get into this a little bit. If questions pop up, holler at me.
Okay.
And if I'm so again, this is just hitting the market now. It's in the 60 or so Lowe's Canada stores. Now my voice is starting. I'm going to lose my voice. I sound like I'm 15. Hi. It's in about the 60 or so Lowe's Canada stores, and then I think between Rona and Reno Depot, I think there's another 550 locations,
Okay.
and that's kind of under one big umbrella. So it's in most of those buildings as well. So you can find this across Canada. And our TriFuels, you can find a bigger TriFuel in Home Depot, Canada. You can find another one of our large TriFuels in Costco, Canada.
Yep.
So throughout Canada, there's really great access to our TriFuels. Here in the U.S., this is just starting to get distribution. We started up in Canada first with our smaller unit. Our bigger units are kind of found everywhere. .com, in
Yep.
building at Costco.
Yep.
In building at I think Academy Sports. There's a couple other guys I'm missing. I apologize to our retail partners. I'll come better prepared for that. But again, like you said, go online,
Yeah.
look up the unit you're interested in, hit the
It's definitely
where to find
specific
button.
to area
Yeah.
too. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of some of our retailers are only specific areas.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
east, west. So check it out online.
So quick info on this unit. So it's in a lot of ways, it's a little bit different than a lot of our other generators. So it's a 4,000, 5,000 watt. We actually have our 223 cc engine on this unit, which is our biggest kind of what I would call small engine. And we just kind of introduced this to market. We include with our unit a 5.5 foot LPG hose. So everyone has access to LP. You can go out and buy these cans or returns at just about every home improvement
Yeah.
location. Home Depot, Lowe's have
Yep.
tanks, but a lot of convenience stores,
Stores,
Circle
gas
K,
stations, yeah.
7-Elevens, Quick Trips. I mean, the works. They've got LP tanks. If you've got a LP barbecue, you've probably got 2 or 3 of these already in your backyard. So
Yeah.
so we include an LP hose because we know everyone has access to LP,
Absolutely.
right? We don't include a natural gas hose because out of probably the 180 million households in U.S., I think about 74 million have access to natural gas.
Okay.
The rest don't. And that's really, it's kind of blended. It's kind of all over. I think Middle America has a pretty big
Okay.
natural gas. Up the West Coast is very big on natural gas. And then the East Coast. But not everyone has access to natural gas. I don't have natural gas. Do you? I don't have it here. I know it's in some parts of Phoenix, but I don't have it where I live.
I don't believe that we do.
Yeah. So, so we don't put a natural gas hose in any of our TriFuels for that very reason, is that we don't want to pass that cost on to folks, right?
Yeah.
It's the natural gas hose, especially a 25-foot hose, if you want to make sure everyone's using it properly and safely, that's expensive. I mean, you're adding, gosh, you're probably adding $50, $60 in cost to your generator. So we'd much rather you get everything you need to start it and run it. You can run on regular gas, you can run it on LP. If you choose to run on natural gas, the natural gas hose can be found at a lot of our retail partners. It can be found online. It can be found on our website.
Yep.
So we'll make sure you have the equipment you need.
Absolutely.
We just don't want to add that cost to every box. So this unit is so cool because it can run off all three fuels. We're one of the first guys to really do this and do it right. And now I think we've sold a lot of TriFuel generators. I'm not going to throw a number, and all our competitors will start to say, "Oh, I got to have one of those." But it's a great selling generator, and it's something that really just broadens the capacity or the use options for the end user, right?
Absolutely.
So it does a lot of great things. So if you want to run it on gas, the first thing you do is you get the unit, you put the handles come already on, and it's a padded U-shaped handle for easy mobility. Comes to wheels. Wheels take about, I don't know, 5 minutes to put on, if that. You turn the unit up, you get it out of the box. These are packed really well. We do ISTA 4A and 5A testing, so that shipping-wise, you shouldn't run into any issues.
Yep.
Now, if somebody from a certain delivery company decides to drop this over a 8-foot gate, damages can happen. But for the most part, this is going to withstand most any kind of problems in shipping. They should show up and still be functional and look really good.
And I know that we talked about plugs a little bit initially.
Yep.
But we did have somebody who mentioned that one of their favorite features about our TriFuel is the 50 amp plug, that most competitors don't have a 50 amp plug on their 9400, 7400 gens. So
yeah, which kind of blows me away because one, it's great if you want to use this as a portable standby, so that you have the option to take it with you to your cabin, to your cottage, or use it at your home.
Absolutely.
That 50 amp plug gives you a lot of options to pull a lot of amps and power out of the generator and then disperse it, whether it's to a transfer switch. A lot of the transfer switches have that 1450 hookup or the 1430, but it's just strange to me. And a lot of the big buses and vans and big, the big RVs that have multiple ACs. I don't know how big yours was. Have three ACs on it.
Yeah.
If you have the 1450, you can plug directly in from that camper or bus and run everything on that camper or bus.
I mean,
that's beautiful.
It's a huge.
It's
a
wonderful.
Huge thing. Yeah.
And on those, they have onboard gen sets, but they're actually pretty loud, and they're also very expensive to run.
Yeah.
And when they break down, they're incredibly expensive to fix.
Yeah.
So you get one of our units, and it'll power and run the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So this unit does not have the 50 amp, but what it does have is the 1430. So this does have a 120, 220, 120, 240 plug, which is phenomenal. It's got a power switch, so you can make sure that all the voltage is going to this plug when you're using it. When you're using it for 240, like for a transfer switch. But if you just want to use it, you switch it over to the 30 amp side, the 120 side, and you could use the 30 amp. And this is a L530, a lot of power cords, a lot of construction guys, just like this for ease of use. Then it has a built-in duplex with GFCI, which is beautiful, just to keep it tested. If it overloads, it'll pop. You can reset it. But the unit, because we put a 1430 and a 530, we still know that a lot of campers, a lot of RVers love this unit still, right? They have propanes on their campers. They take extra gas to run their toys and their cars and dune buggies and
all the same
stuff.
And actually, that adapter you're holding.
This adapter comes with the unit and allows it to plug into the 530, and then you just plug in right here from your camper, and it'll power everything on your camper. Now, if you got multiple ACs, you'll have to play with the ACs and kind of maybe start them at different times. But this will easily run everything on a camper, and lots of times it'll run multiple ACs as well. So lots of little things that we talk about and think of. So So we put our 50 amp plug on all of our big gens, 7,000 watts and up. We're starting to put more and more 1430s with the 530. The problem that a lot of people run into is they want a TT30 here, right? The TT30 plug behind the scenes is a big plug. And so you can't fit a TT30 and a 1430 in most panels. So I'm getting into the weeds here. But so what we've done is we've done the 530 with the 1430 because you still want to have a traditional household plug. These are called 520s.
Yeah.
But with the adapter, it gives you the full range to really do everything, no matter what you do. If you're construction, if you're looking to tie into your house and a transfer switch, or if you're looking to do camping and recreation, by having this, it really allows you to plug and play for everything. So you get the unit, you oil it up first, you put all the oil, and we give you oil.
Yeah.
Chris, of all the calls we get, I bet the number one call is people get the unit and they'll go, I won't start. And your first question back is, did you add the oil? Right? And they'll go, most of it. No, did you add all the oil? We give you the right amount of oil to get the unit to run and start the first time. And then you want it to run for how many hours before you do the first oil change? Maybe...
Yeah, so our break-in period is the first 25 hours. So
25 hours.
And that's a special blend for the break-in. So use that oil, and at 25 hours, change it to your...
whatever your
regular
oil choice is. If you go synthetic, stay with synthetic after that. So put all the oil in, put your gas in, or hook up, whether it's your LP, with your LP hose that we provide, or your gas hose, which you can get online from us or from a lot of our .com retail partners.
Yep.
And then you choose your selection. So you go to the gas side, or you go to the LP or natural gas side. And if you're so that's both natural gas and LP. Then you come over here to this bad boy. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice little holder for the LPG hose. And that really is good. So this is us thinking about how they interface with it, how they use it. You get stuff, you unpack it, and then you might not use it right away, or you use it and test it to make sure it's working for you, and then you might store it for a little bit. You want to keep everything with it.
Together,
This just allows you, it's a simple little holder,
convenient,
but it keeps it with the unit, and it keeps it stored together, so when you're ready to go use it, you've got it available. The fuel selector switch between natural gas and LP is on the side. So if you're running on natural gas, it goes up towards the green. If you're going to LP, you just turn it to the side. And now you're ready to plug and play. If it's LP, you make sure the fitting's on tight. You want to make sure you don't smell any LP. You can smell it if it's leaking out a little bit. You want to make sure the nozzle's on good. Turn it, I think, counterclockwise typically to open up the LP hose. And then just hit the electric start button, and it's going to power right up for you. So it does all the throttling. It does all, on these particular units, right? Do you have to, for electric start?
You will still have to actuate the choke on that side.
Okay, so you take the start, you move it, you take the choke and move it to the start position.
Yep.
Once it gets started, just move it back to run.
So it's in start, and run
start
is
on
over
the left,
here.
And then as it starts up, you move it over to the right.
Perfect.
And one call one question we actually get a lot. I mean, one question we have to ask a lot is, did you connect your battery?
Oh.
I know this is a really big thing. It sounds silly, but we want to obviously make sure that we're sending you everything ready to go, and we're not.
Well, and this is one thing, we actually missed this early on one of ours, but all of our generators now, if it has a battery, has a quick connect.
Yes.
So I don't know if most generator manufacturers don't do this, and it's an absolute pain in the butt. If you have ever tried to take these little screws that connect the terminal to the end of the battery connection, and then with the little nut, and they're tiny, and your little fingers don't work very well, my big fat fingers, but it's honestly a pain.
Yeah.
So we connect the terminals for you,
Yes.
but so the battery doesn't get any draw out of it or get hurt
Yeah.
During transit or while it's in storage. We've got quick connects. You snip that little zip tie, take these, plug and play, and when you hear the little click connection, and you're good to go. So you'd be
that's surprised how many people, that's actually the only problem.
Yeah. Right.
Like, they'll think it's
right.
something huge and big, and of course they're upset and angry because it's new and it's exciting, you want it to be, and then they realize, oh, I didn't actually hook that up, and that should be your number one step, right?
Yeah, so I think we get the question, it won't start. Well, did you add oil? Most of it, did you add?
Yes.
I added all the oil. Okay, do you see lights?
Yes.
Right? So then you'll say, do you see any lights, anything? No, there's no lights. Okay.
Check to make sure.
Check right here. Snip the little zip tie, plug those together. Okay, I've got lights. Okay, move your throttle to start, hit your start button, and they're typically good to go, right? So this unit is really just a phenomenal. Oh, it's live TV.
Yeah.
It's really just a phenomenal unit for a lot of different reasons. It's the bigger engine. It's a larger fuel tank. It's just with the extra plugs, you've got a great plug set to do just about anything you want with it. It runs on all 3 fuels. The digital meter tells you volts, hertz, and hours it's run. Does this have a low oil indicator? I think a little red light pops up on it when it's low oil.
The red light, the indicator light, will flash
When it's low oil.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So this side right.
Yep.
yeah. So just a lot of great features
Yeah.
packed into a little generator.
And really built for everyone in every
Yeah.
single situation, circumstance.
Yep.
It's just so many uses, seasons, emergencies. It's great that we've thought of everything. And I love like all the special little call outs and don't forget this and do that. And
Yep.
another question that's kind of a little off topic is serial number. Everyone has a hard time
Right here.
finding the serial number. And most of the time, it is usually on the handle side.
Yes.
Most of the time, it's usually
Yep.
on the handle side. But yes, so in case you are looking for the serial number, which is something I always am getting questions about, even on the social media side, so we just called that out. But
And it's usually on the handle side. It's usually on when you're facing the plugs. It's almost always, I think, on all of our units, on the right side of the tank, on the lower part of the tank. So that's always the handle side, I think, across the board on most of our units. But
except
yeah.
for the inverter generators.
Mm.
You
Yes,
find it
yes.
on the top.
yeah,
On the top.
inverter generators on the top.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
That is a great point.
Yeah,
Awesome.
but the handle's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great unit. This unit runs at about 67, 68 decibels. So it's campsite rated for both national and state parks.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Now a lot of those parks still have their shut everything down
By
at
certain times, yeah. And we're
8
actually,
o'clock, 9 o'clock at
yeah.
night. But absolutely phenomenal. I don't know. Oh, CO shut off. So all of our units going forward, this being a new unit, will have the CO shutdown on it.
Yeah.
So it has both an alert and then CO shutdown. So if it's collecting the bad stuff that can hurt you in and around the unit, it'll turn itself off.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's any really cool other stuff that we should point out. Electric start. It's got a runtime of anywhere from 14 to 16 hours when you run it on gas. I think on LP when you run it, I think we get on these units, about hours per gallon of LP, something like that. Maybe 3.5 hours, or maybe, I guess it depends on how you're running it too. If you're running full go, AC, microwave lights, hair dryer, and just really making it work, you'll probably get a little less.
Yep.
If it's just coasting along and running a couple TVs and a blender once in a while when you're tailgating, it probably runs a little bit longer. We've had emails where people say they got 16 hours out of a full tank. We've had other people say, I got 10 and a half, 11, but I was just running it like crazy. So it's going to vary, I think. And altitude, heat, cold, all that's going to affect it as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that situation is very situational and will change for everyone. Use of it's really simple and easy. You got your fuel selector. If you go to an LP or natural gas, you got the other fuel selector on the side. Your choke, very accessible, easy to do. If for some reason your battery died, and you need to electric start the unit or pull start the unit, all of them come with a pull start, so you can pull start it. Again, you got to operate the choke and to start. As the unit starts to go over, you just hit it to run.
Yep.
Cool features. Oh, this particular unit. So the stuff we supply, right? You get the oil, you get a funnel, which I dropped on the ground. I'm not going to bend over and moon everybody. You get the
L5 to TT30 adapter.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. L5 to TT30 adapter. I was trying to think of the word adapter.
Yeah.
And you get a really nice cover. This is an
Yes.
all-weather cover, zip ties. So when you do put the unit into storage, you can pull this bad boy out,
Yeah.
cover it, and keep it, even better, free of moisture, free of debris, and just take care of the unit a little bit better. Maintenance hours on this, the first.
For that, you change the oil. but you're also going to want to pop out your air filter and clean it.
Yep. And you can do that just by taking it out and kind of washing it off with water,
warm
right?
soapy water and then letting it dry out.
Okay. A little bit of oil in after you do that before
put
you
a
put it
little
back?
drop of oil on each 6 of its sides.
Okay.
So it'll drop. And you'll want to check the spark plug, make sure there's no soot or carbon buildup.
Yep.
And then also on the side of the muffler, this one's
I love this that just
I know.
turns.
this
It's
one's
so-
often overlooked, but you
like
see the
that.
silver gasket there on the muffler. That's called a spark arrestor.
Mhm.
So that also will get some carbon buildup. So you want to check it every 100 hours, and all you have to do is pop that out and clean it with the wire brush.
Okay. And you can just kind of scratch it,
Yep.
and that'll help it breathe better and exhaust better.
Exactly.
And this is a Forest Service approved.
Yes, and
Spark
we
arrestor.
actually have maintenance kits for all of our generators, which I don't think everybody knows about. So we're going to be obviously getting that in front of people more and letting them know. But we do have maintenance kits. So once you run through everything that we've sent you, you can go ahead and order one of the maintenance kits for one of the gens that you have, and it will come with things like that too.
Yeah, it comes with the spark arrestor.
Yep.
It comes with the air filter and the spark plug, as well as a shop towel.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some fuel stabilizer. if
Yes.
you're
Oh, it's
using
perfect.
gas.
Yes, it's
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
So everything that you need for your gen, we got your maintenance kit ready, and you can find those on Firman.
And soon we'll be launching videos for basic maintenance.
Absolutely, on every single,
Yep.
we're working through every single product. We have box openings that will show you how to do your setup, what to do, what's important to make sure you are checking off the list. We'll also have an overview of the product and general uses. So I think that will be great. We can't wait to start launching that and telling everybody about those. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Cool. And backed by our phenomenal 3-year warranty and our superb customer support tech team.
Absolutely.
So if you have any questions during setup, during running it, even if you've had it, 2, 3, if you've had it 10 years,
Yeah.
you have a question, if you have a problem, call us. We'll work through it and make sure that you're up and running, and we get the parts, whatever you need, to you, and then walk through any fixes you might need to do to make sure the product and the generator is running the way you need it to.
Yes, and after you purchase, always make sure that you're registering your warranty on your product. That is the number one big thing to do after you get it. So make sure that you always have things covered. We cover a lot of things. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a 3-year warranty for parts. There's some maintenance items that might not fall under that, but
Yep.
we're gonna figure out what the issue is with you when you contact us. And,
Yeah.
And if it's something we need to replace, we get it out to you in no time. So.
Absolutely.
I think we're running long. But that's cool
That's
because I
okay.
don't think there's any limit.
No,
Are
no
there
limit.
any questions that have popped up?
No other questions that popped up. Lily said that you'd be happy to know she has her Firman socks on today because it's cold.
We have some. Oh, by the way, we're starting to sell Firman gear on our website.
We are.
We're selling.
Currently, we only have our Firman Yeti mug online, but
That's
we are
cool,
gonna
though.
have. Yeah, I'm so excited. Watch for
I think
some
we just
posts.
put some koozies on there as well.
Yeah, we got
You
a
get a pack of beer
three
koozies.
pack of beer three pack of koozies. Whatever you use them for is up to you.
Yeah.
We like to use beer in them. Just kidding.
Yeah, when you're
We also
tailgating with
have.
your generator.
Yeah, we also have some.
And great for red solo cups. as well.
Yes. We also have some branded Bills Firman hats. We also have shirts that are coming. These will slowly be working their way onto the site. We're going to be doing a shout out on social, so
Maybe
you
some
can
jackets.
maybe some jacket. So whatever we come out with, we'll let you know. We're going to do a shout out on our social. So
Yep.
just watch for it, and we'll give you a link to where you can get them if you like them, so you can have all the fun things that we play with and enjoy.
Yep.
And we don't skimp out. We always get the best of the best for our customers and for our team. So we really love Firman, and we back it.
It's kind of crazy. All I wear
Yeah.
is my Firman gear. I've got some. Typically, yeah, that's all I wear.
I'm finding myself wearing it on the weekends now. It's like getting to
all
a
the
point
time.
now
I
where
don't
I'm
know
like,
why.
the
It's
only
just
time
what
I
my
don't
closet's-
is like on a holiday or maybe if we're camping. But now I'm finding myself wearing it camping
You
because
gotta
it's
live and
cozy.
breathe it.
Yeah, some of these Firman clothes are nicer than I have in my closet.
Agreed.
They really do-
Agreed.
they really do treat us well here with them.
Yeah.
We've been pretty lucky.
All right.
So today is Friday. Do we have a thing Monday? A live Monday?
So we don't have any. Okay, I'm sorry. Friday. We have our live on Monday. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Don't have a live on Monday. Our next live will be next Friday. They're doing setup for the SHOT Show,
Oh, that's right.
which I'm gonna do a few quick call outs.
Hey, maybe Jason though could do a quick live on Monday somehow. Just something where we do a Facebook run of
I know
kind
that
of
he's.
setup,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
he's actually doing some fun little behind the scenes videos of booth setup. So maybe we'll do a live video or a story or something. We'll see what he His hands were kind of full, so
He can do
whatever he
something.
can get
Come
out.
on.
Come on, Jason, we're challenging you. That's actually all Greg, not me. Just kidding. But yeah, so we'll be at the SHOT Show. I'll throw out those reminders. We have Florida RV Show coming up in just about 5 days in Tampa, Florida. We're there from the 19th to the 22nd. We'll have a booth on the We'll be in a booth on the Florida State Fairgrounds. So just stop by and visit us. We'd love to take a picture, tag us. We always love to see people, give you a shout out. And then most of our team actually is heading over to the SHOT Show.
Yep.
Some of them are heading out. Jason's going to be heading there over the weekend.
Sunday.
He'll be there
they
Sunday.
go to start setup.
Yeah. So he'll be there before us with a couple of our team members, and then the rest of us are going to head out in just about 4 days the show starts, so the 18th to the 21st. It'll be in Las Vegas at the Venetian Resort Expo Center. We're on level 2. Booth VL246. We'll send a post out so you don't have to remember that. But
So we're right actually at where you walk into the show. There's a main entrance to get into the main floor of SHOT Show, and if you've never been there, it's I mean, if you're, and it's funny, I'm not really a big gun guy, but this show is still amazing. If you're a gun guy, and you like kind of that hunting outdoor security thing, this show it's unbelievable.
All of the things. Like I'm so excited, and we're right there when you walk in. Like,
so we're right across from the main entrance. So if you are an FFL dealer, or if you're you've got a little shop. So here's the thing: is if you sell guns or gun safes or hunting equipment or fishing equipment, which is what you're going to see at this show, you can sell portable generators. So the other thing is we're always looking to do is expand our doors, find people that want to get set up with the program, be a dealer. And so we're going to have part of our booth set up and dedicated just to that. So if you're there and you're interested in potentially finding out about how you could sell and supply generators to the people that walk in the store, and I can tell you that if you sell any of those things, that consumer, if you're a hunter and outdoorsman into that outdoor living, you've got to have a portable generator. And anytime you're trying to live outside, do your stuff outside, work outside, the one thing you got to have is portable power.
Absolutely. So, and we've got the product, so we're excited to share our love with everybody. So we do have some special events. I know we're running over on time, but I'm just gonna tell you about them. On Tuesday the 18th from 1 to 4 at SHOT Show, we have one of our ambassadors, Omar Crispy Avila, who will be at the booth, and we're going to be doing a meet and greet with him and doing a fun little giveaway. So if you can't go to the show, no worries. Just follow us on social. We'll keep you updated on there, let you know what's going on and how you can enter. Wednesday the 19th from 1 to 2, we'll have Christy Lee Cook at our booth. So we're excited that she's going to be joining us. We can do a meet and greet with her. We'll do some video and
that's awesome.
Some talking, catching up, see what's new with her. Again, a giveaway at the SHOT Show for both of them, so just keep an eye out for that. You can participate on our page, social, if you can't be there in person. But, of course, we'd love to see you at the show.
Yep.
Monday, we do not have a live broadcast. Just going to confirm that for sure. We don't have a live broadcast on Monday. Jason and the team will be set up at the booth, the show. But Friday at SHOT Show, we're going to do a live broadcast from SHOT Show.
Oh, will that be with Dan or no? That's just going to be SHOT Show stuff.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure either. I was thinking maybe
Shelly's going to be like, girl, I should remember, but
I don't know either. We got to do that Dan makeup with our product development guy talking about the 0E.
Yes.
I know we're going to have a 0E there.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know for a fact that's what they're trying to do or not.
Well, I know
There'll
Thursday
be
we're going to
cover.
be doing some fun, behind the scenes. So maybe we'll do a little behind the scenes and you can check it out. And if you're there, please come check it out. It's beautiful, and we can't wait to tell you about it.
Yeah, we've got to make, especially now we're trying to do this more and more, we need to make a real effort to, we'll have dinner with Crispy and with Christy Lee on different nights.
Yeah.
Like, do little snippets where we do 30, 45-second, minute little deals where we kind of talk about some of the stuff going on.
Yeah.
Share some stuff that's going on in their lives and how our brands are kind of intersecting together and working together.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do a bunch of little things like that where we drop it on our YouTubes and Facebooks.
I'm going to get tons of footage.
Reels or whatever you call them.
Reels, stories.
Yeah. Good.
We're going to get tons of stuff over there. And we'll make sure we get some stories out for you, too. If you like what you saw today, make sure you tell your friends to join us on our upcoming live broadcast. We do this every week. Well, mainly Greg and Jason do this every week. I like how I'm talking like I do it every week.
You're going to be more doing this. I think it's going to be you and Jason running the show.
Okay, great.
But subscribe.
subscribe,
and like and thumbs up.
like.
And we're kind of trying to figure this out
Share.
to make it more
Yeah.
interactive,
For sure.
to cover the information and the details that you need.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's a work in progress, but we're going to get better and better. So just spend time with us, tell folks about us, tell us what you need to hear more, sharing more about the product, sharing more about the use of the product,
Yes.
the setup of the product, whatever it is you need to know more of, let us know, because we want to have this be a kind of a dynamic interchange
Absolutely.
between the folks that are out there using our product, even if any of our retail partners or any of our influencers or tell us the things that we need to talk about a little bit more, and we'll make sure we cover all that.
Absolutely. We have tons of ideas, but we want to make sure we're answering your questions.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that the point of these videos are to just be that Firman is here for you for all things. We answers for everything. So
an extension. We are your friends at Firman.
Absolutely. But we're excited that you joined us today, and we'll see you on Friday, which Jason confirmed. We're talking about SHOT Show because we're live from SHOT Show. So I'm sure we're going to walk through the booth and do all kinds of fun things
And
there.
if you look at a map of the U.S. and take Atlanta and do like a little ice cream cone going north and east, everyone in that cone and over to the Atlantic coast basically needs to be really careful over the next few days and just make sure you're prepared. So go check in with your weather guy. If this somehow, gives you notice that you've just missed out. A lot of us aren't watching TV as much anymore. We're glued into Netflix or whatever. Go check in and see if your area is going to be affected, and just make sure you're doing all the preparation you need to get ready for what potentially could be a kind of a nasty winter storm.
Yeah, and we'll try and get a little something out on social too, just with our contact information and the areas that it's going to be. We're expected to see it hit, just so we make sure that we're getting you information as to how you can get prepared for the storm and be less reactive and more proactive. We want to make sure everybody's safe. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.